possible. So how the reading? You guys can handle? Let me know. Let me know if you can answer. You know, in most of my classes, I mean that before I require the student to share, and I in this class. Let me see here. Okay, let me see. This you guys have many options to choose from, right, for the question, right? Let me see. So you guys don't have any problem to answer here, right? Today is just fine, but start from this Thursday, I don't want to force you guys to do discussion, but I give you a credit for if you have any discussion in the class, I give you 1 credit per class. All right. But usually for all the classes, I ask students to join, and I give you this kind of incentive. Okay. And if you discuss something on the way out after this class, write your number. You remember your number?
Yes.
Remember your number? Just write your number. I know. That's all. You need to write your name. Just get the pen and put the number here. And I know that I will give you one point. All right. So if you attend from now to the end of the semester, you have more than 20. We have 30 classes. 30 sessions, so today is class number 9, so we have about 20 points extra. If you have some discussion there, I like to hear anything, something from you guys. They are so quiet last few days. All right, I missed anything with you?
8.
Okay. Okay, so this is the incentive, right? So discuss something, say something about your writing, about your opinions together, right? Okay, so that we can discuss together. And actually, the next semester, not this school, but next semester, I'm teaching exactly the same class as this one, but online. And your name, please?
Number 5.
Number
5.
5?
Yeah.
I'm teaching that's online, but on the class at Indiana University of Southeast, and I give this content so that the student can follow, because that's the online class. Not face to face. Your number, please.
Number 3.
And I hope that in the future I will offer again, like I think in the fall of 2005. I offer the mindfulness class here, and all the campus too, the Indian US and Southeast too. So again, let me repeat. Like he attend my class previously, and every day we have discussion, group discussions before I talk. But since beginning of the semester up to now, you are so quiet. So I want to give you guys some incentive. So if you say something, just remember your number. Put your number on the way out. So I can give you 1 point extra per day. Okay? So say something, discuss something, have any doubts, any questions, or you can share with your friends, whichever thing you learn. I know this class is somehow it's very it's a technical class because it's deal with Buddhist meditation. You learn a lot of Buddhist terminologies. It's a bit different from mindfulness class. So mindfulness class is use a modern language. It's a common language that people understand. There's some context that you need to know, some Pali, some sacred terms, and so forth. It requires a lot of patience for you to learn. I think it's not hard, but it takes time, right? So anyway, so I like you guys to discuss, to learn together. This is for me. I remember that the first semester I went to teach officially at Indiana University Southeast. I taught that class, the Religion of Asia. And for the first month, I was in the front and explained for the student. I think we have more than 30 students over there. And sometimes we look around, the student like with cell phone, go for sleep and so forth. So I thought, no, this is not productive. So that's why I changed the method that everyone needs to participate. So I think this is more fruitful, more productive too. Okay, and like I mentioned recently, that next semester I'm teaching exactly the same class, the same materials, the same procedures, online at Indiana University Southeast. That's all the class. I know. Anyone of you been in honor program? No? Yeah, you know, if you got an honor program, you have to be disciplined, you have to be on time and so forth, in order to keep up with that grade. Well, of course, when you die with honor roll, you be honor. Anyway, so that's why I recall that, so that I can put online for them to follow session by session. So whichever thing you share, they can learn from you too. Okay? Of course, we don't talk anything about our personal life, right? But we talk about the class. Right. Anyway, so let me go back to the class then. Any questions? Yeah. If you don't mind, you can sit on the side. It's up to you. So just record this call for our students, for our future students to learn. Because this actually it's not easy to have this kind of class, Buddhist meditation class, as we go in depth about our traditions. All right, let's move on then. Of course, I don't put the deadline for the for doing this one, but please remember, don't wait for last minute. If you wait for last minute, you stress yourself a lot. Just spread out your schedule. Keep try your best to do the work. If you have problems, let me know. If you wait until after Thanksgiving holiday, be careful. I think you have a lot of things to handle too, right? Most of you are full-time students here. Anyone of you are part-time? You are? So you can take it easy, or still you have a lot of things to do?
I still find a lot of things to do, but I feel like it's a lot easier.
I feel like it's a lot easier,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely. Yeah. How about who working full-time here? Okay. That's why.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what.
I'm graduating December, so I only did 3 classes, so I'm part-time because I'm just finishing.
Then. Is stressful for you?
To work full time?
Yeah,
Oh,
you can ask him. Not. Alright.
Sort of.
Short of. To take it easy, right? Sometimes you fall asleep because you're tired. You work at night. When?
Close.
When?
5 to 10. 5 to 10 every night.
5 to 10. 5 p.m. to 10 a.m.
No.
Uh, 5 a.m. to 10
Yeah.
p.m.
No, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Oh, okay.
5 hours.
Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, we need to have some energy there. All right. Let's go. Today's the class. We talk about the. This is the English of this. Yeah. So talk about this mindfulness state of the mind, the consciousness. And before you come here, come to this class, what you learn about consciousness, especially if you are psychology major, what you think, what you learn about, what you know about it.
They say like the consciousness is, as in like, it's kind of like, they use an iceberg as an analogy, so you know, if you, like you see an iceberg, it looks like it's a lot at the top, but underneath the surface it's so much bigger. So it's either your consciousness is, I guess, your way of, it's so hard to explain, it's a state of mind that cannot be really tapped but is always present in a way. That's how I learned it.
Yeah.
Kind of like the tip of the iceberg, but there's much more underneath
What do
the
you call it?
surface.
Super I. What do you call it? What do you call it? Super ego? Is super?
Oh, ego. The ego image.
Well, what do you call that one?
Um,
In psychology, according to there's this three kind of
the
ego.
id, ego, and super
The super ego.
What's that?
Id, ego, super ego. ID,
ID,
yes.
Mhm.
And EGO.
EDO,
EGO,
ECO,
yes.
and super.
Yeah.
I see. Alright. So what do you learn from this one? This is from let's see the Fred, right?
Yeah,
What's ED is it? What's ED is about?
It's like your baser instincts,
Okay.
and then your ego is, okay, your super ego is kind of like the consciousness, not consciousness, your conscience, I guess you could say, and then the ego is kind of like a balance between.
Okay. Alright. Do you remember? Remember anything about consciousness
I
yet?
don't remember.
Remember anyone? How about you? About yourself, you guys? Anything about consciousness and psychology?
About like your consciousness, exactly.
Mhm.
Oh, well, what we told is that to really delve deep into your problems, you have to tap into your consciousness. Like what we give to the world isn't really what's inside. And just have there's kind of a wall between ourselves and our consciousess, and that to really like help somebody out through therapy, they have to be able to access your consciousness to really see how you're feeling
Okay.
in a way.
Anyone else? Anyone? Have you read some of these parts yet? The copy reading, especially especially this one here. Have you understandable?
Yeah, it was. I was confused at first because the way it was talking, I was thinking it was like talking about other people's minds instead of like their own state of mind, I guess you could say. And then I realized what it was talking about.
Yeah, remember, most of the time when you talk about your own mind or your own state of mind. Any one of you, before I pauses, somehow, of course, this is Buddhist postulate the consciousness that we see, but we can recognize. Okay, I think it's, let's see here. According to Buddhist traditions, Buddhist concept, the consciousness is so called because it links the past event and the present. Nothing's come up on the spot. Nothing come up without any reason. So our physical body as well as our mind in Buddhist view is been affected by whichever thing we have done in the past. We call karma, right? And according to Buddhist view, the first moment that we came into this life, we have this what called this first consciousness, or in general we call it the eight consciousness, as explained later on. And the last consciousness, or you can say that the last soul or spirit, whichever term you like to say, will leave the body at the last breath of your life. And the consciousness or spirit or soul, whichever term you like to use, this is like energy. It's just transformed from one form into others. Whichever karma you've done in the past, whether it's good and bad and so forth, it was transferred into this life. That's why you carry on some of your personality, some of your characteristics into this lifetime. And when you move on to the next, you carry too. That's why, maybe you can say gifted children, right? When they're still young, they know how to play piano, they know how to solve certificate math problem and so forth. Because they carry on all of these kind of informations or habitual patterns or skills in the past life to here. That's why they say that most of children, if they between the time that they were born up to 4 or 5 years old, it's easy for them to recall things that they had encountered or associated with in the past. Because of this type of consciousness, this type of information, it just mentioned that like the hard drive of the desktop. If something wrong with the desktop, with the motherboard, you take out the hard drive and plug into the different one. Make sense? So there's our mind in Buddhist view. So there's our mind. So there's our consciousness. That's the way. So energy, right? Energy never lost. It just transformed from one form into others. That's why Buddhism or Buddhist psychology is so compatible with science, with psychology. So that's why whatever thing you do here or now will be affecting your future, probably 10 years, 20 years, and of course, in Buddhist view, to the next life. Let's say if you're teachers, you have more tendency to become teacher in next life because that's the thing you accumulate. That's the thing you have built, the skill and knowledge already. That's why every one of us has different skill, right? Every one of us has different expertise. No one is alike. So, because we built up this kind of skill, knowledge, experience in the past. So if you're good with writing, with this pen, you can draw anything. Or if you're good, especially if you're a handyman, with this piece of paper, you can make some kind of apron, whichever, right? And some of you may have some skill of speaking and so forth. So everyone is different because we have built all kind of skill, knowledge, and experience in the past. And the consciousness is in the form of energy. As we transform ourselves from the past life into this and in the future too. So that's this concept. That's why we talk about the so-called. It is so-called because it's linked the past with the present. It is initial consciousness when expressed at the moment of the conception. That's some type of energy. That's somehow it's the effect to our physical body and so forth. The fetus in the mother womb is formed by a combination of this relinking consciousness, and that's why I just got back from New Mexico last week. After the class, I flew there to do the funeral service for old men, and in most of the time, I used to explain people that it is a cycle. I hope a good cycle for me. And the cycle, where someone passes away, this is one point with the cycle of life. And there's no beginning, no ending points. Of course, ideally, Buddhists want to get out of this cycle, but of course, otherwise, we will revolve again and again, and there's no ending point, no starting point in this cycle. That's why we talk about the word samsara. Samsara, that means cycle of rebirth. And nirvana, again, we talk about that, right? That there's no more rebirth. Why?
We have reached like the final.
Yeah, you can say that. Let me give you one example. I want to make clear so that you can understand the whole concept of Buddhist consciousness, Buddhist thought. Let's say if we are not addicted with cigarette, right? And then we stop by the gas station. We don't need to walk into and buy a cigarette. Makes sense? But the other guys is different. You guys smoke? It's better, no. Alright, so or with anything, with clothes, with food, with anything. If you're attached to something, you get stuck to that place. You understand that? So when you're free with anything here, and you don't have any attachment to this cycle, you get out easily. Understand that? The reason why we evolve in here because of attachment. And the other side of attachment is rejection. There are two sides of coins. Two sides of coins. I don't know how many girlfriends and boyfriends you have, but remember what happened. At first, you feel so attached to that person, right? And what happened? They walk away from you with other ladies, other gentlemen. You feel rejection, right? You feel anger. You feel hatred with that person. So these are the two sides of coins, and that's why it keeps us revolve here. Make sense? Why? You know why? Why? Well, when you have certain type of attachment, you could not be free. Why?
Because you keep wanting to come back.
Yeah, it's your motivator.
Yeah, It is a cycle. Whichever things. Let's say, of course, if of course, this is for little things, right? If somehow your cell phone is broken, or somehow you get lost, you need to get another one. The users, of course, it's in common sense, right? Because we need them. But other people, they have some kind of different types of attachment to the foods, to the clothes, to the movie, whichever thing that they are attached to, and they cannot get away from that. So that's why it keeps us again and again. So that's why it says that past, present, and future. This is just the points in this cycle. The point is no starting points, no ending points along this cycle. That's why they say that relinking consciousness with the spirit of the cell of the parents, in this consciousness are the lighten of all the past and present. Anything you do, here, now, it will affect you, of course. Next week, next year, and the future life. Characteristics and tendency of the particular individual life flux. How about your genes from your parents? You have some similarity?
Yes.
that you get from your parents? Yes, right?
Yeah.
Mm,
I would hope so.
you hope so?
so
And of course, some of you, but not all, who look alike or act exactly the same way as your parents do, right? And vice versa, some parents, most times some parents come to me and they say that, well, I want my children to be this and that. I say, wow, even you give birth to them, but they have different personality. They have different mindset, and you cannot accept them to do exactly the thing that you expect them to do. Because everyone person has different consciousness, different karma. What you say, is that what you say? Okay. Now here, how consciousness condition mind and matter is just have the feeling, perception, information. You will learn that. And karma born eyes is not calm body, sense and earth base. Did we discuss about this? Now here, why is everyone is different? Why some, of course, here we healthy, we young, but other people, right? They have some problem physically and mentally. Some of them rich, some of them poor. Why is that? Why?
genes.
Huh?
The genes.
The genesis? Okay, what else?
I mean, it would be irrational to think that we're all the same. You know, there's too many factors in life that makes us different. That's the whole point of life, is that we're all different.
Even look at this small room. The way you dress yourself, so unique by just only you. No second person wear the same dress as you, right? Everyone's is different. And in Buddhist view, it's your own karma. Your own karma, or your own inclination, that you dress this way, that you walk this way, that you eat this way, and so forth. Of course, it depends upon how you learned from your parents, from the teachers, community, and so forth too. It would determine the whole personality or characteristics you up to you now. But still, I want to be so unique because of this type of karma. The karma that most of the time in Buddhist view, you read by yourself, and of course it may affect by other factors too. Your parents, your friends, your relatives, community, and society. And that's why, you know, sometimes the children were born in the wealthy families, but what happens if they don't work, they don't go to school, they're lazy? Yeah, when they get older, they would have nothing. They could not know how to survive. And vice versa, if they were born in a poor families, if they study hard, right, if they work hard, they may be wealthy. So depend upon everyone else. And of course, this is consciousness is determined by the feeling, perception, formation. Okay, here. Somehow this is like psychology class, right? Right here, the consciousness, the mind, the matter. So in Buddhist view, the consciousness is like the energy that stored within your life, and of course this is the physical aspect of your body, right? The four matters, the four elements we discussed last time, right? The earth, the fire, the wind, the water, and the mind, the mind including the feeling, perception, and formation. And what about in psychology? What they call the mind at heart? They get classified as EID, ego, and superego. That's all.
The ego, super ego. That's kind of Freudian, but yeah.
Like, it's not exactly, because it's a principle by Freud, so it's just taught about Freud, but it's not really widely used today. It's more like history of it all.
The classical one.
Yeah, exactly, classical.
Yeah, and that's just why here in Buddhist view, the mind, including your feeling, we talked about that last time. Be mindful with your feeling, perception, the way we think, whichever way, good, I mean the positive or negative. Formation, that's mean our mental formation, like the habit, the way we think, the way we view things, and so forth. Everyone is different, right? Let's say if you have if you are a college student, the way you look at things is different from high school student. Make sense? And if you have families, the way you perceive things, the way you understand or communicate other people is maybe different from the single one. Make sense? Of course, male and female may view different way too, because our habitual patterns or educations, whichever that we had instilled before. Okay, here, consciousness here. Okay, feeling, the mind, the perception, information, and this is for the matter, the physical stuff. The heart, the eyes, the ears. No, this is for our physical body. The same thing too. Okay, here, the mind, the matter is sense based. The eyes is the tongue, the body. Here, existence. Of course, we understand, right? When during the embryonic periods, existence basically evolve. Over periods of time, the small embryo develops in a complex existence machine. That's a special us. All the existence organs, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, the body, and the mind. In Buddhism, we care about the mind too. The mind, what we call a thought to collide with the respective object, the form, the sound, the odor, is tangible and mental object. Give rise to six types of consciousness. That's what I want to mention about here. When you close your eyes, can you see? Can you see when you close your eyes? Think about that. Don't shake your head.
Well, I guess I can't visually see, but I can smell, I can hear. I have other senses. I can see through.
You see the blind people, they carry the cane. They're so sensitive. They're more sensitive. Their ears, right, more sensitive than us, right? Because in Buddhist view, when you're blind, doesn't mean that you cannot see, but you can see through different organs. You can feel, right? You can hear. You pay more attention on the hearing.
Isn't it like they say that if one sense is faulting, the other five increase in punctuality just to make up for it? Yeah.
Not make up, but that's the survival skill.
Yeah,
they say that. That's what talk about here. So don't say that the blind couldn't see. Okay, here, sixth sense, we know that. And this is the receptors for system organs, so the eyes, the ears, if you study the brain. Okay, here. In the eye sense organ, since you see here, right, it will process into the eye contact in the back of your mind here. Of course, in Buddhist tradition, for 1,000 years, we don't have this type of image until now. But now it's just more compatible. That's why I try to explain to you guys. Here, it finds the system object, like let's say when you see this, the image on the screen, that is the eyes object. The sense base is for the eyes, and when you see things, you analyze. Whether it's nice, ugly, and so forth. We recognize them. Okay, here, that's why here. Why is the person sure I'm going to be rich? Or we see the jewel box here. You perceive them, you recognize them. Okay, Of course, feeling bond of eyes contact. Feeling bond of ear contact. You understand this? You don't? Okay, now, if you look at, this water bottle here, what you're feeling? This is one here. No, don't worry, don't worry. I can ask, if you look, when in the class, if you look this water bottle, what you're feeling? About this water bottle.
What are we feeling?
What would you feel?
It's fancy.
Huh?
It's fancy.
Fancy? Okay.
Cold.
Cold? Okay.
It's dirty.
What?
Okay. What else?
If we feel it, like if we,
Feel.
oh, feel.
You feel it.
Probably cold to the touch.
Okay. Anything? Anyone? Or you visualize, right? Or through your eyes, right? You see this water bottle. You could have that feeling, even you have not touched it yet. Even you have not drink, you have not drink that the water inside this bottle, right? But at least you have that type of feeling. You understand that? So feeling, that's what? Feeling bond of eye contact. Make sense? Right? And how about feeling bond of nose contact? The smell. The smell, you can have the feeling. Feeling bond of the tongue, especially during lunchtime or when you take your snack or your lunch. You feel through your tongue. Feel through bond of your body contact, when you touch, the way you touch a table, the way you sit, right? The way you walk, the way you stand, and so forth. Make sense? Understand that? About feeling bond of my contact, what does it mean?
Like visualizing what you're thinking.
The way you think, the way you perceive things, the way you, the way you recognize things. That's what this is about. Again, the same thing. Okay, pleasurable, painful, neutral. Most of the time we are here, right? We discussed it before, right? Most of the time we hear either pleasurable or painful. Right? When you eat the hamburger, you enjoy eating hamburgers, right? Or if you when you walk around people who turn the music too loud, it's irritation, right? That's why we talk about. It's not easy for us to remain neutral. Most of the time we tend to swing back and forth between these two poles, like or like, pleasurable or irritation and so forth. So that's just a feeling there. That's why last time I told you, like we stay on the boat, right? It's better to stay in the middle, otherwise be capsized. Either way, that's why when we have when we like something, when we attach to something, what happens then? And when we reject, when we have anger, that's one-sided, right? And that's why our emotion always fluctuated, always come up. It is always pop up and go. It's like the wave of the oceans. Okay, here the same thing too. It's just mental object, visible object, the sound, the smell, the taste, the tangible object, mental object is related to this type of craving. Attachment is a side of the attachment or rejection. This is how. This is the get the map. Get the map to let's say the stimulus from action, from external environment. Let's say someone says something about you, what is good about. Someone give you comment about you, right? And this is you, and you may have some reaction. You pay attention on that, right? Through the contact of your ears, you listen to that, and you have some kind of reaction, either in short term or long term. Whether they give you good comment or bad comment. So that's what is affecting your mind here. And now go again. What they call this one is the five sensory consciousness. It's from our eyes, our nose, our tongue, body, and the mind is number 6. The 7 in Buddhist view is called the ego one. The last one is the sit consciousness. This is the 8 consciousness. That's what I'm talking about. So before actually, right after we pass away, this is the 6 consciousness or the 8 consciousness would leave the body last to move on to the next life. And of course, this is the first consciousness that entered the wombs of the mothers to have the body, the next life. It is the same thing. The sight, the hearing, the smell, the taste, the touch, and this is the ordinary consciousness related mind. Let me give you one example. Again, talking about this water bottle. When we see this water bottle with our eyes, right? With our eyes, and we see this water bottle, and this 6 consciousness of the mind, we analyze. So you say, some of you say, oh, it looks cold, right? What do you say again?
Sturdy looking?
And whichever you analyze in your mind, right? And now, of course, if it's you would, if you like it, you may store this information on in the 8 consciousness, because you analyze. Oh, this is mine. For example, this is water bottle belong to her, and so she, oh, this is mine. This is my water bottle. So the 7 is the ego one, the one that that associate yourself with this object. That's mine. I want to keep it. If it's not mine, I walk away. Right? If it's not mine, I don't care. But this is mine, so I like it. I keep it. I hold it. Make sense? So that's why, because of this attachment to ego, you store this information here. I think I will explain for you to understand further. Here, the size, the hearing, the and so forth. The 6 consciousness is the adulation of the mind monkey, the monkey mind. It jumps. It is always thinking about whichever things. That when we see things, when we hear things, we analyze on the spot. Right, what they call the monkey mind, right? The processing mind, the processing thought. We will say that. And the manner is number 7 is the what they call the conscience with the true apprehension, God in hindrance poison. This means the one that keep that is your. Actually, I think it's better when you explain on the board here. Just imagine that this is your house. Okay, you have the window, you have door, right? Okay, you imagine that the window hits you. So let's say, remember we talked about if one window is broken, what happens? This window is broken, or door is broken. You can use the other windows or doors. Make sense? So those our eyes, our ears. If we have problem with our eyes, the other sense may be stronger, right? And just imagine that when you close your eyes, can you see? Again, yes, you can see through listening. Make sense? And so let's say someone say, okay, just close your eyes and imagine that there's one orange. You get your one orange and so forth. You have that kind of visualization in your mind, and you analyze. Your analysis number 6 consciousness here. Number 6 consciousness. It look like the thought processing mind. Make sense? So through your eyes, it's called eye consciousness. through your ears, it's called ear consciousness. But all the consciousness is like the owner of the house. When you open the door, let's say when you close this curtain, we couldn't see much, but when you open, we see through. So we are, the consciousness is like the owner of the house. Make sense? Through your eyes, we call eye consciousness. And through your ears, we say ear consciousness. Through your tongue, we say tongue consciousness. Actually, this is number 6. Make sense? And number 6, let's say, if you see beautiful flower, for example, right? If you see through your eyes, it's the beautiful flower, and this is number 7. And you say, oh, this flower, I just bought it. It's mine. It's mine, I like it. Through my eyes, I like it. This is mine. Because this number 7 relates to the ego. It's mine, I. It's mine. What is water? Water is mine. I want to keep that. I like it. What happened? I like it, and this is set here in number 8. It is storage. It's called storage consciousness. Only when you like or when you dislike, you store information here. What kind of flower you like?
I don't know. A lot.
A lot?
Dandelion.
Okay.
Yes.
Rose? Okay.
I don't like flowers.
How are you?
Sunflowers.
Sunflower?
Petunias.
Huh?
Petunias.
What's that?
It's a type of flower.
Okay.
Peonies.
Huh?
Peonies or something?
Yeah, not right.
Peony.
Lily? Lily?
Same thing. Lotus.
Lotus?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I like daisies.
Lily? Okay. Okay, Susie. So, sometimes you buy, right? Sometimes you get some from your friends, but you like it. It's you associate with that kind of flower, right? If you, let's say if you like lily, but someone give you the rose, you may not like it, right? You may not pay attention to that. But the only thing that you associate with, right? Like, okay, I like lily. That's your ego, that attached to that type of flower. And what happened? You store the information here. That's why wherever you go, let's say if you go with me to Thailand, you're looking for lily, or looking for rose, or looking for McDonald's, because this is familiar with you. Make sense? You store this information here, right? You understand that? You see that kind of process in Buddhist view. That's why whichever thing, like or dislike. Of course, at first you like lily, right? Because you associate that flower with your ego. Make sense? But what happened? Something you don't like. What's happened? Something that you really reject. What happened? Let's say about someone, your friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, or your teachers, your boss, and so forth. Again, dislike here. You dislike them. You dislike that object. What happened then? Because you don't want to stay, you don't want to keep them, but somehow you have that kind of animosity toward that type of people, that type of object. But still, the image still print here. Whether you like, either you like or dislike. Imprint in that consciousness. Remember when because I want to give this type of example so you understand it. It's understandable. Remember when you hang around with your friends, right? Boyfriends, girlfriends. At first you like, right? You associate that person to your ego. Oh, I have good feeling that person, and of course you store his, her image and so forth in this one. Make sense? But later on they reject you, or something happened, right? And you could not hang around anymore. but you have that type of anger. You may put the question why they reject you and so forth. It probably the rest of your life you still remember that person. Make sense? But for his stranger who will not pay attention much. Make sense? So that's why I want to emphasize light, only light, this light will, and of course that may associate with you, with your ego, we saw here. Whichever information, whichever classes that you're taking, whichever job that you're working for, is always stored here. That's why this present life, okay, this present life and the past and future. Go the same too, like the same way too, like I told you. All the information here, it is 8 consciousness. You store here, information you store here. From the past, it moves on to the present. And from the present, it moves on to the future. It may define your personality, your characteristics, whichever way you do, whichever information or knowledge you have gained, have learned, or whichever skill or experience you have. So that's what it's about. Okay, this is the same way. Okay, here. And of course, this is feedback too. It's feedback loop. As like I told you, if you go to Thailand with me next year, for example, right? You look for Vidano, because you get used of that. You get eat Vidano every day. Not much, right? You cook at home. You can cook at home. It's better, right? Of course, emergency. But I see, especially in the morning and lunchtime, right? So many people they line up in Vidano, Burger King, and so forth to eat fast food, but they're not healthy much, right? But anyway, so we get used to that information. That's kind of food. So wherever you go, you're looking for that kind of food, that kind of information. That's a feedback loop, right? Because you associate with yourself. You you feel good before. Through your eyes, through your tongue, you feel good about that food, you feel good about that size and so forth. Make sense? So that's the feedback loop. It's not one way. So that's why we look for similarities. As humans, somehow, we have some kind of phobia or fear that we don't want to learn something strange. We want to eat something strange. Can you imagine or remember the day that you go out with your friends that invite you to come to their house and enjoy some strange food? What do you think? What do you feel? First moment of your life, first experience of your life that you eat some kind of food that you never ate before.
A little anxiety.
Okay.
Excited.
Yeah, I was excited.
It's different.
It was something that brought into your horizon, so just get more experience.
Yeah, that's why in our itineraries for Thailand we will have the cooking class the last day before we come back to the state, so that people can, the students can have experience about that type of food in Thailand there. Some of you have, or most of you have eaten some kind of Chinese, Vietnamese food, Asian food. You like it?
Yeah, the best food. Asians probably like the best cuisines.
What kind of food that you like?
I like Viet and Thai. Like dumplings. And
Dumpling, that's just Chinese one, right?
Well, let's see. I like the soup.
Okay.
And the spring rolls and the pad thai.
Yeah.
Is it pho?
And the pho and the ramen.
Pho.
Is it pho?
You know how to cook, sir?
My mom does.
Not you. You better.
Pho takes too long.
Pho
takes too long.
Not too long. Okay. Yeah. On November the 5th, if you come to my center, we have special food for you guys. You were there, right? And of course, on the 30th, you can come to have meditation, right? On Saturday, you can bring something to share, but we cook something for you. We are better. We don't consume meat. Anyway, go back here. See, that's a feedback loop. Make sense? It's logical, right? And that's what we talk about here. I want to spend in detail so that you can have some idea what's meant by Buddhist views on the consciousness or thought the same way too. They have that's a feedback loop there. And here, this is schematic plan. And it's very easy to see. That's the six eternal conditions, the visual form, right? Whichever form, right? It's affected to the eyes, right? When you see something, that's become this eye consciousness. That's I can listen to you. The sound to the ears, right? And you listen some sounds, some music, or some nature, and so forth. You have the ear consciousness. You analyze, like the way I try to explain. You analyze whatever I like to explain to you. The orders through the nose and so forth. Intention. Now here, for the mind, intention is important. That's what we talk about. And the mind consciousness here. And later on, it is like this line neutral. In short-term memory, perception, ideal association to long-term memory. What's the difference between short-term memory and long-term memory when we see something, when we hear something? What's it mean?
You forget, like, short term is just like remembering what I had for dinner or something.
Mm-hmm.
Long term is 30 years from now, I'll remember it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Could you still remember something happened to you when you were 5 years old?
Because it was like very important.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. Long-term memory is so critical, right? It's so critical. It's so serious that you could not forget at all. I still remember when I was, I think, 3 or 4 years old. One day in Vietnam, one day I walked to school, and somehow when I crossed the street, and one motorcycle hit me. This is not much serious. And the couple, they're so nice that they brought me back to my home. And so they apologized. I don't know, at that time I was so young, but I still remember that moment. Even this didn't hurt me much, but still. And so, when we, in our life, right, so sometimes it's so critical, sometimes so important, right, sometimes something is so serious that we have this long-term memory here. If, let's say, during the day, you have, when you see your friends say hi and so forth, it's not much important. You may pay attention much. That's why, if you want to enrich your memory, pay attention more. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Of course, common sense. When you go to the library, you calm your mind down to study math or whichever subject, you pay attention more. So that image or information will be captured or stored in your consciousness in long term. That's when you're taking the test, you remember them more. If you scan over quickly, no way will you to remember all. Make sense? That's why you have to study line by line, paragraph by paragraph, and so forth. Especially in psychology, right? I know this is pretty tough. You have to understand and remember that most of you have taken the ACT, right? Or ACT. Sometimes you have one question, but 4 possible answer or 5 possible answers, right? But some of them they're still similar, right? If you don't have that type of good memory about your lesson or your whichever, you may miss that answer. Anyway, so that's just what's about. Okay. So.
Professor, you have to go soon.
Yeah. Does you have to go?
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Somehow I forgot the time. Okay, so I will. Thank you. Thanks to remind me. So next Thursday, this Thursday we'll talk more deeply about this because this one's so important. It's so important that you know the concept of Buddhist consciousness.
It's kind of interesting there. The idea of ego reminds me a lot. I studied for a little while with a shaman in Canada, and it was very similar in that aspect.
Okay. Yeah, if you talk today, write your phone number here. write your number in or on the way out, okay? So if you okay, just write the number. And otherwise, if you guys don't remind me, I will stay here until 11:30 then.
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
Good luck, hopefully you
Thank
get
you.
some new students.